where you belong. Give it strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Toon Review from a very COVID-hit household here in the Northeast. Luckily, I have my two brothers with me, as in Alex and Billy, who I actually could have punched in the middle of the face this afternoon, but for nice reasons. Of course, we planned all this farewell show for our good fellow there, and you know, I had lots of little clips planned to embarrass the shit out of him, and as you would, get out my deathbed to, you know, do all this. And an hour after I scheduled the show, Billy then sends a message saying, I'm staying, which, you know, was the best message I could have received all day, if I'm openly honest. It was fantastic that he managed to sort it out. And, you know, but Billy, can you just explain what happened? Because I've seen some... there's a lot of speculation going on online as to why you were going. Some people crazy enough to say, oh, there's been a big falling out. There's been this, there's that. They're not speaking anymore. Or somebody's fallen out behind the scenes. Can you just explain, before we get going, what actually happened?
It's all about money. It's all about needing to do more hours. Couldn't see a way around it. Asked the wages clerk at work how much more I'd be getting if I did a Saturday morning every week. She told me that fitted into the ballpark. And there's potential for more as well. So, hence, I didn't need to go and do more hours during, you know, so I'd have to leave the channel. So, it's all good. We can stay. But I need to say thank you to all the messages I've had. Dozens of them. Oh,
it's really been bloody unbelievable. I mean, my Twitter, when I said you were staying, within like 20 minutes, I had over 200 notifications all saying, yeah, great. And I'm thinking, well, me and Alex could leave then and let Billy run the channel on his own. But no, seriously, it has been fantastic. And it's nice to know that, you know, everybody was saying, oh, the three amigos are back and all of this kind of stuff. And it's nice to hear because obviously we do come as a team, and we were devastated when Billy said he was going to have to step down because he's been a mainstay of the channel for such a long time now, and you know, when somebody drops out, it's not great, and you get all that speculation going on about this has happened, that has happened. There was no falling out. Billy was very upset when he messaged me, and he messaged Alex and the guys, you know, all the team, to say that he was stepping down, and you could say with the way he wrote it, it was kind of. Well, it was very emotional, I guess. But, you know, we can put that into the background now because Billy is staying. And I'll reiterate what I said the other night. We aim to have this Toon Review as a full-time outfit eventually. You know, we're not there yet. We're not there by any stretch. But we're bringing out a gaming channel very soon. That's in the works, which I think Alex and Billy will be a big part of because I'm going to Scooby-Doo what I'm doing for that. So... they'll have to generate that. We've also got a Toon Review fitness podcast coming out, which is going to be ran by Susan and Rachel. So they are going to be doing a fitness podcast, and that is going to be a blinder. So that's in the developments as well. So, you know, the channel is growing. We're sort of branching out into different things as well. And I'm just, you know, very proud that Billy's still going to be a part of that because we want Billy. We need Billy. He's a big part of the channel. He's sort of the third cog in the three-wheeled tricycle that we ride on a daily basis here on the Toon Review. I don't know where that came from, but it sounded all right. But Billy, it is fab. And obviously, with the watch-alongs, by the way, I think what we're going to do is mix it up a little bit next season because obviously we want Alex getting to do some commentaries as well. So Billy will co-commentate with Alex on the home games, and then Alex will co-commentate with Billy on some of the home games as well. So they'll both do it. Because I know Alex wants to give it a shot, and I know Billy doesn't mind that at all. So they'll be doing the same for the home games, just switching the commentary up. It's going to be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then all three of us for Champions League, it'll be just brilliant next season, which is very, very exciting. But talking about next season, we've just had a £5 super chat in from Phil. He says, one for Billy, now he's not going, thank the Lord. Yes, indeed. Before we do get started, actually, don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy tonight's stream, hit that thumbs up button for us. It's very, very important to the channel. And of course, if you're new and like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. And also hit that bell, which will notify you when we upload or go live. And you can donate to the channel, as Phil has so kindly already tonight, by hitting that $ at the bottom of the live comments. That'll take you through to a payment method, and you get your comment read straight out. Gareth Bascom, thank you for your 6 months membership. He says, are you doing the Premier League fantasy football this year? Yes, we are. And we're going to take it a lot more seriously. I was going to bring this up at some point, but I'm glad you did, Gareth. We will take it more seriously. We will do a weekly show on the fantasy football. Now, listen, this time last year, we were calling Billy the expert and helping us pick our teams and everything. And that didn't go too well for you, Billy, did it, really?
I'll finish top at the end, though. Only because you lot forgot to do it, though.
Well, I didn't touch it. I think November was the last time I logged on to that.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to now, okay? This is a promise.
Up front for his entire injury duration. I just never logged on.
This is a promise. We will set the Toon Review Fantasy League up, and we will stick with it because I think it's a bit of fun as well, and it takes a bit of seriousness away and things like that. So we'll definitely get onto that. Avina Turkish, thank you for your membership. Welcome to Members Club, as well as Guy Reevely. Welcome to Members Club. Thank you for your monthly support on the channel. I am sweating here. Like, I'm going to need windscreen wipers on my glasses shortly because it's just dripping off me. COVID is a bitch, guys. It's a bitch, and it's real. Right. What was I going to start with? Let me have a look. Yes. This news came today. Of course, Loris Karius, there you go, Alex, and Paul Dummett have signed 1-year extensions. How are you feeling about that, Alex?
I think it slightly changes my verdict on what's going to happen with Dubravka next season. I just assumed that it was going to be Pope and Dubravka. Dubravka would be nailed on to stay because he would get that exactly what he wanted him when he went to Manchester United, which was try and get extra games and compete, in a club that had got European competition. But now Karius has signed. You'd imagine Darlow would go because he was out of all of them. He went to Hull on loan. It's a funny one. It definitely raises the question. I think one of them's definitely going to go minimum. Is it Darlow? Is it Dubravka? That's the question.
Well, speculation, Billy, has obviously started about, a lot of people are saying that, it looks like Dubravka and Darlow will be leaving because, of course, we've still got Gillespie there as well. So if we've signed Karius, that does give you the sort of heads up that maybe Dubravka has eyes on another team.
Yeah, 5 keepers, 3's enough, 2 are going to go. Dubravka, I would say, we would get the most money for. Darlow's been in talks with Bournemouth, Leeds, so we're led to believe. I think those 2 leave, and I think Karius becomes the number 2. Well, I hope he does. I hope he's not behind Gillespie. Because, he seems to be there just for
Gillespie, shoot the Christ.
He's there just for social events, as far as I can see. He's never going to play. So Karius
he's the social organiser, isn't he?
Yeah, seems that way. So.
Phil Gow, thank you for 14 months membership. Stanley Waters, thank you for 12 months membership. And he says, please, Billy is staying. Happy days. Indeed. Monday, Tuesday, happy days. No, that won't disappear off my screen now. Okay. Oh, it's gone now. There you go. Right. And also, I want to talk to you about this before we go into the comments. Just get the top stories out the way, of course. Is this man, Harvey Barnes, was initially looking like Leicester City wanted, I think we're talking ridiculous money, like 50 million quid for him. I think a price being banded around now, Alex, is around 35 million pounds. I actually like Harvey Barnes. I'm a big fan, and I think he'll do well at Newcastle. I've seen a lot of trash talk, though, from Newcastle United fans saying, don't touch him. I don't know why not. This guy is a good player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people are getting their knickers in a twist with Barnes. It's fine. We've done him on a couple of shows. We'll probably record a podcast on him as well.
Yep,
he's fine. His numbers dropped considerably this season because it was Leicester, and Leicester had a terrible, terrible season. However, he still put in a lot. His goal contributions were fine. What did he score? 13 goals in a relegated team. And then if you go and look back at all the previous seasons he's been at Leicester, his numbers are fine. His take-on statistics, his progressive carries, his goal threat as a winger, his assists have been through the roof as well in previous seasons. He can use his left foot as well. I know he's right-footed, but he's quite capable with both feet. He's not quite a Maxi or an Isak dribbling-wise, but you don't always need that. That's not always... Miggy doesn't have that dribbling ability, but often gets in behind. It's not his getting in behind that's the issue. I feel like Harvey Barnes is kind of similar to Miggy in that way. Barnes just knows how to hit the back of the net far more consistently over a longer period of time.
Yeah. Well, Billy, this one's for you. We have I don't know what. I'm not getting into this again, but I'm just going to put this up here. I don't believe you one bit. Billy was never leaving. The man was 100% right. The Toon Review is definitely a begging channel. Paul, all you think about is some donations, please. First thing what comes out. Billy, would you like to respond to that?
I think that the name tells everything, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think that's Barry,
nuts.
to be honest. It's somebody
No, I don't.
trying to stir shit, to be honest.
It's obviously somebody who's get a fair good impression of him, to be fair.
Well, there you go. The one man and his Twatterdale says, best news I've heard as Billy Sting, thank God. We've had another super chat in from DK35, 4.99 super chat. Hi, guys. Have you seen Rory Jennings praise for us in his latest vid? Happy the team is staying together. Great group of guys looking sharp, Alex. Says DK. Yeah, I've just tweeted out something as well, which was, I think everybody's seen it now, what was on TikTok from that useless, well, I'm not even going to describe him as a human being because he's just a knob, saying that basically all women in Newcastle are fat and it's, a terrible place to live and the Flair players will jump ship very, very quickly. So, yeah, you're a mug, pal, a complete mug. Baz Down Under says easily the most enjoyable Toon show because it's more than just a talking head. Danielle's in the house. Good evening, Danielle. Hope you're well. David says nice link to, is it Disasi, Alex, this Monaco player?
I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
It's D-I-S-A-S-I. Disasi or...
I mean, he's from DR Congo originally, even though he plays for France. So I don't know if there's any influence from like a language from the DR Congo in how you say his name. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. It could just be standard French, and it's like Disasi or don't know. Disasi.
Ian Skinner's got his tickets for the Cellar Cup, as has Alex. As have I. I take it that might be televised actually. So if it is. Billy Bob will be on comms for that. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Some good teams playing there. Kieran says, evening all. Couldn't be happier Billy is staying. Good lad. Jock says, Barnes is a good player, just right for Eddie to work on. I mean, Billy, he's a hard worker. He's a grafter. There's no doubt about that. What we've seen when he's played for Leicester City, we've seen that day in, day out.
Yeah, he's more of a workman-like player than a skills and sheen player, isn't he? Yeah, we'll get the figures up for you. If he's doing it for Leicester last year when they were crap, in a good side, can he put the same sort of figures up? Might get us another spot in the league. So yeah, I think it's a good signing. They kind of think they can get him for 25 million, which is half that what they want for him. So yeah, I think 25 million would be a snip.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, Leicester, they've got the money for Maddison. They're not desperate for the money now. They can. But I suppose if they want to reinvest it in other things, then give them time before the end of the window. They're going to have to come to a deal pretty quickly, to be honest. And I think between 25 and 35 is probably a good deal. Now, Alex, unfortunately, we missed the watch along because I didn't even realize yesterday happened. Completely bedridden out of it. Not that I make much of it. But this guy, Anthony Gordon, I think he's made the fans excited about what he could possibly be next season.
Yeah, well, he looked fitter. He looked more mature. He looked just a lot more experienced in his decision making. I mentioned this last week that because he was playing as a centre forward, he wasn't always receiving service, and I was so impressed at the patience he showed. Because there were even times for us on the wing where the ball was lost, whether it was by him or another player, and he would just fumble and try way too hard to win the ball back and give away a foul. And that seemed to have disappeared out of his game straight away when I watched him play for England up front. He was far more patient. His decision making was better. He worked for the team. He dropped back into a defensive shape when necessary. He covered for other people. The finishing was on point. The runs, the work rate, the leadership. He looks like he's just gone on an upward curve, and now he's probably going to have a little bit of a break. Come back to it, and we'll get to see loads of him in preseason, hopefully as well. Looks really exciting because he looks like somebody that can just play anywhere on the front line and will just work for you all day.
Absolutely.
And if he continues to grow like this, then his fee was completely worth it. Because this guy, if he becomes what we think he could be, then it could be an absolute steal.
Yeah, Billy, has he excited you? What you've seen of him in the summer?
100%. He's player of the tournament and deservedly so. I thought his worst game of the actual tournament was the actual final, but his work rate in that final was phenomenal. He's got the work rate of Peter Beardsley when he didn't have the ball. When he didn't have the ball at his feet, chasing, making tackles, being a real nuisance. The ball into him to his feet when he's got his back to goal. His touch at times yesterday was pretty poor, but that's obviously not his game, is it? He's a very slight lad with pace. You want to be putting in the channels. They didn't do that so much yesterday, but yeah, he's had a fantastic tournament because the other games they were doing that to him, and he was clinical.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple more super chats coming, guys. We've got £2 from Geordie Boy. Raise a glass, Billy is staying. $9.99 from Zishan says, evening all. Billy, really glad you were staying. The channel would not have been the same. Got a soft spot for Billy, maybe because of the CV postcode connection, but really happy. Alvin Messenger, thank you for your $5 super chat. He says, good evening, guys and mods. Billy, I'm thrilled that you're staying. Hopefully Barnes in this week, and Romano has a new link to a centre-back. Stato? Interesting.
Might be disaster, surely.
Probably, yeah. And Johnny Ola, thank you for your £5 super chat. Man City inquired about Botman. Should we inquire about Haaland? Well,
why not?
Yeah, just for the laugh. Chris Thompson says, can I give a huge congratulations to my eldest daughter, Emily, on graduating uni. Her graduation is at the Stadium of Shite on Thursday. I have been told to be on my best behaviour. Yes, I do. I feel sorry for you, Chris, but unfortunately, your daughter comes first in that circumstance. So best of luck. Graham Ritchie, thank you for your $10 super chat. There is no comment there, but thank you very much for your donation to the channel. Julie says, don't take any notice of Rory Jennings. One video, he said Sunderland are a bigger club than Newcastle. Yeah. Scott says, is there a package ticket for home friendlies? We'll take me to all 3 games. No, basically it's over the Saturday and Sunday if you want the package deal. But you have to put both into your basket, and that kicks in with the package deal for the.
I think you get 5 games.
Yeah. Yeah, all 5 games, because obviously the ladies are playing West Brom. So that's after the 2 semi-finals. Well, I call them semi-finals. They're not really semi-finals, because they're not playing each other. It's not a round-robin tournament or anything like that. Nathan says, Maxi is always terrifying teams to stay deeper and deeper. Also requires 3 men to mark him. No stats for that. Billy Sting is another NUFC signing, says Mawson. Absolutely.
Can I just address one thing that happened yesterday?
Indeed, you can. Yeah,
I was in Jack's stream yesterday, and there was a few people absolutely slating Maxi for certain things that I'm not quite sure. I don't know what they were talking about. There was 2 or 3 people, possibly more, talking about how he's late, how he's not invested in the club, how he wears his headband, he's not focused on the game, he's got a bad attitude. And it is absolutely ridiculous. I don't hear Chelsea fans screaming that Madueke's got a headband on. Maxi literally posted a little snapshot on Instagram of him arriving early, ready to go to training with "I'm home" with a heart, and then his next post was of him working hard in training. Not on top of that, he does so much charity work for the Northeast. He set up a business in the Northeast as well, probably employs a bunch of people, creates jobs. Like, if you don't like his playing, that's fine. If you don't like him as a player, that's up to you. But the character assassination is just got to stop. It's just so unfair. It was borderline racism, what some people were saying as well. Like, it just let
it goes
I don't
a bit too
understand
far,
where it's
doesn't
coming
it?
from. It got too far. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some people need to just look at themselves a bit.
Yep, absolutely. James was going to miss Billy's farts and, of course, Daisy. Well, I mean, it would have been a court case, I think, for possession of Daisy.
1 fart.
Exactly. 1 fart. That's all it was. The chair's creaked a few times, but just once. Charles Hosberg, the second of Spain, says, I'm having a lot of trouble getting tickets to the Cellar Cup. If anyone could tell me how to link different accounts on the NUFC website, it would be very appreciated. It's very, very, it's a pain in the arse. It really is. And that's something that I think that the club have to now start addressing, because it's just a real pain in the arse. Norvik, thank you very much for 18 months membership on the channel. Can't wait for next season to see the team we have, new signings and all. Indeed. We have another £9.99 from Ken Halliday. He says, amazing channel, the best informed, and so glad Billy is staying. Thank you very much. Right, Alex, do we have the first player?
We do indeed. Let me just. I'm waiting before I screen share now, because it likes to obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously
force
it's
itself
all right.
onto the screen.
We're expecting it now, so. Boosh.
I've got to rearrange it slightly.
That's all right, mate. You just take your time.
Here it is. So.
And there he is, Axel. It's like I love that name, Axel. Disasi.
Yeah. So, where is the Romano post? So Romano has mentioned him and literally said that it's us and Manchester United have spoken to his representatives, who, according to Transfermarkt, are his relatives. So not a professional agent or representation, as it were. So I don't know quite who they spoke to, whether it was just them and some family members in a restaurant, or I'm not quite sure how it works at that level. However, it appears to be 2 clubs in the running, according to Romano, and this has come from Romano. So this is more than just a little, Italian media link. Sorry, Italy, but your journalists quite bad. This is literally from Romano. Although isn't Romano Italian? I might have to take that back. So
I think he is.
Yeah, we can look at this with a bit more conviction. It makes sense. We need somebody as a backup to Fabian Schar, unless Eddie Howe does consider Lascelles as a competent backup, and I don't think he does. I don't think he is. Although I think Lascelles might be useful to keep around in the squad, possibly. He was used for his physical profile against games against like Holland, and he did quite well. So maybe he might be useful to keep for a variety of reasons, but not to be a system player. So this guy fits the mold. 3.8 XG, 3 goals, 1.2 XA, and he got 3 assists. So 6 goal contributions in League One. That's loads. That's what our centre halves are just not doing. If we can have one of our centre halves contribute 6 times, That's incredible. Over the course of a season, it's what we're looking for. So he's always available. I think he made 37 starts and 1 substitute appearance. So he's forever available. He's consistent. He scores. He contributes. Not only that, he's not too old. So he's not really profiling as a wonder kid anymore. He's 25. He's not sort of your 22, 23-year-old young centre-half. So a little bit older, but still a prime age, really. 6'2.5", so nice and tall as well. How tall is Botman? 6'3", 6'4". So we would potentially have two beastie centre halves. Mr. Axel as well is considerably more athletic than Fabian Schar as well. Of course, we do love Fabian, but this guy has got a little bit more pace about him and a bit more strength. So contract until 2025. So it would be 2 years remaining. So we could get him for a reasonable fee. It depends on the competition for his signature. And if Manchester United are in, well, they're a bit silly with money. So secondly, his wages are extremely modest. Let's do that. Let's do the thing. In real money, it is just under £12,000. So
wow,
that's no problem. Yeah. We could definitely increase that. The issue would be if Man United come in and he's interested. Again, it depends on the personality of the player. He might, if Man United offer him 50k a week more than we do, you can't really blame him. But it's still very possible. Worth noting as well, 8 appearances in the Europa League, 750 minutes, 2 goals and 1 assist, which is quite outrageous, to be honest. Three goal contributions in only 8 appearances in the Europa League is decent. So he's done it not only in Ligue 1, but also in a European competition. And the Europa League was quite strong this year. So let's scroll down and have a look at the business end of the page, which is the statistics. So I always forget that.
We always like a fresh field of green.
So passing is around average, but I think that's because he's tasked with doing a lot of the dangerous stuff. He does a lot of the ball progression. So if you're the centre half tasked with doing all the ball progression, maybe the other one isn't. 83.3% pass completion, I think, is still fine. If you're the guy who's pinging all the long balls, I think it's absolutely fine. He can tidy that up if necessary, I would imagine. Plays for Monaco, by the way, if I hadn't told you. So progressive passes, 96th percentile, 5.8 progressive passes is just outrageous. That is exactly what we need. Ideally, what we've talked about, do we want an understudy for Fabian Schar, or do we want somebody who can challenge Fabian Schar? This guy would challenge Fabian Schar. I think his physicality is good enough. His goal threat's good enough. His passing is good enough. He's able to sort of stride past a midfielder nearly twice a game. He can step up with the ball. He can pass well. He's tall. He's strong. He's physical. He contributes. His aerial duels, you can see there, are good. Interceptions are nice and high, which is always the sign of decent intelligence for a centre-half. Can read the play well. 1.81 interceptions per 90 is really, 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 really impressive. And if we have a look at his career... Oh, actually, let's look at similar players.
Just before you say that, Alex, just before you say anything, Irani Granny, what is that as a profile picture? I mean, the comment's bad enough, but the fact that that is the profile picture now, I mean, I suppose, 80-year-old me still got it. Still got it. Sorry, Alex, continue.
That's all right. So, stat matches, you've got Mbemba on there, who, of course, has had a decent career away from us. You've got Schlotterbeck on here as well, who we were linked with before we got Botman. So, you can see some similarities there. Positionally, I mean, we would ideally want him to challenge Schar, but he does play. He can play on the left as well. He plays on the left a lot, despite being right-footed. I'm pretty sure he plays in a back three system from time to time as well. But I believe we would bring him to generally challenge that right side. So career to date is all France, essentially. Paris FC, which for those of you who like playing games, is always a fun. It's always a fun save on FIFA or Football Manager, because it's always fun to try and take Paris FC up to be better than PSG, because it's just funny. You've got Rennes and then you've got Monaco. So quite a lot of minutes, to be fair, for his age. Over 2,000 minutes every year for the last 4 seasons on the trot. So decent amount of playing time. And then if we go and have a look at his transfer marked, here he is. So this is the next bit. 4 caps for France. We know how good France are at the moment. So anybody who's got any caps for the senior team for France needs to be taken seriously. Rather impressive. So although I did mention earlier, if you were here, he does qualify for the DR Congo, and he has represented them at under 20 level as well, but now he's made senior appearances for France. He's locked that in. As you can see here, there we go. So he's filled in a little bit of right back as well. So he is quite versatile. Highest market value is what it is right now at 30 million euros. It's just a shame Man United have gotten involved, because I feel like this could have been one of those that we could have sort of sneakily gone in and nipped him for 23, 24, 25 million. But now there's another club involved. I'm not sure it's going to be that simple. This is all about what Manchester United are going to offer, because we have a limit and they don't. If they're letting De Gea go potentially, did that go through? By the way, I didn't follow that up. Is he definitely?
Yeah, he's
gone?
left. He's gone.
He's definitely
gone.
100%. So they've got a lot more wiggle room in the wage budget now. So
yeah, they've still got to sign a keeper. They've still got to sign a keeper to replace him.
Well, it looks like Anana's coming in, doesn't it? So,
but De Gea was on 375.
Hey, there he is! I was waiting for it.
The problem is De Gea was on 375k a week. So Onana would come in at. I can't see Onana coming in at any more than 200.
Sorry, that's going to get boring, isn't it? That will get boring very, very quickly.
So there's going to be wiggle room for them. So whatever we offer in wages, if they get wind of that, they can slap 30, 40, 50 on top of it. No problem, which is an issue.
I would love us to push for this guy, though. I think he's immense. And 25-year-old, perfect age, good experience. Very, very good player, this guy. I mean, I don't know about you, Billy, but even after you go through his stats, I've seen him play a couple of times. He's a beast. And if Alex is right what he says, he would push Fabian Schar to get that partnership with Botman.
Yeah, like Alex also says, he could also actually be ahead of him in the pecking order when he comes.
Yeah,
it's nice to see a 25-year-old being reviewed. I watched the show Thursday, and at times I thought you were reviewing the Spanish cast of Last of Some Wine, some of the ages of some of them.
That did get mentioned a few times.
This lad is a very good player. Yeah, very athletic for centre half, and strength also. But Fabian Schär's a fighter, and he won't want to give up that spot, easily. Man United, I've got some decent centre halves, so there's possibly less competition here than there. I don't know. It'll be an interesting kind of battle between us and Man United for him.
Do you think? Obviously,
I think this is more important than Barnes. But that's just my opinion.
But I mean, Alex, he's on what was his wages? Just under 12k in English pounds, right? He's on nothing, right? So I don't think Manchester United are going to go in and offer him 300 grand a week. I can't see that happening. I think it's going to be a battle, but we have to expect this though when we're going in for the same players. We've got to do battle, I would battle my arse off for this guy. He's a tremendous player, and his name's Axel.
Yeah, I mean, he would be perfect. I was having a little scroll through Twitter this morning, and Sanjay actually, when we first got taken over, he did a thread of upcoming centre halves, and this guy was in that thread, and that was as far back as October 2021. So he's been on people's lists for quite a while. I don't think I've ever reviewed him on this show. I think this is the first time we've been linked with him officially.
The thing is, Man United have been involved, have been apparently, talking back and forth for 2 weeks on this guy, and nothing's been done yet, which means something's not right somewhere along the line. You know what I mean? The 2 weeks is a long time when you're trying to negotiate something. So look, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days. I think you're right, Alex. I mean, if it's between Barnes and me mate Axel there, I would love to see this guy.
I mean, I think there's a few. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw Mark Goldbridge's video today. I mean, I would take what he says with a pinch of salt. However, this whole Mbappe saga might change the market considerably, especially with any Premier League club in the top 4 or with spending power. If Mbappe goes, right, I'm gone, and Madrid go in, Madrid are going to have to raise some funds because the price is going to be ridiculous. So they might have to get rid of. I mean, the rumored names were Valverde and Tchouaméni. It could be any others from Madrid. So they might have to depart one or two to make room for Mbappe if that does happen this summer. So there's going to be a funny little merry-go-round and bidding war with the top clubs. So I think a lot of clubs are trying to be, a little bit careful. And I know a lot of people got really frustrated we haven't moved super fast in this window. Like, we've got Tonali, we got Minte and sent him out on loan. However, we've not, we could have pushed a little bit more aggressive in certain signings, and we haven't. I think this is one of those windows where I think it will pay to be patient, because there's a lot of options around, and a lot of clubs are blowing all their dough straight away. It's not always a bad thing. It does depend. Especially because it's clear that we don't just have, we have to get this player or it's game over. Like, we've got long lists of players. We're more than happy to scout around. We looked at Diego Carlos, for example. We ended up with Botman. We've got lists of players. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, Billy, look, he's a good player, and he would vastly improve what we already have. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, if there's one thing we lack in the sense of defensive positions, not so much with Botman, but certainly with Fabian Schar, is the pace that this lad's got. And sometimes you can get yourself out of position, you've got the pace to get yourself back into it. It looks, with this lad's stats, that he's got the nous to be in position, so the pace is secondary, but still, it's still a fantastic accolade to have as a centre half. Schar hasn't got that. Champions League, it's going to be harder. We're going to have the nippy little forwards going at you. Will Fabian Schar be found out by that? I'm not sure, but it's definitely good to have a speedy centre half as well as a line type one. He could be both, this lad.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the rotation for the centre backs is going to be very important next season because, Schar and Botman will not be playing every single game. There is no doubt about that. We need that rotation in defence just as much as we need it in midfield and up top. And if we're bringing in, like we've said many, many times on this channel, bringing in quality for quality is very, very important. And that's what we want to see next season. So we're not worried. When Eddie brings out a team sheet, we're not thinking, oh, he's left such and such out, he's resting such and such. Oh, God, so-and-so's playing. We're not going to be thinking that. We're going to be excited to see who's going to be replaced. So I think that's quite exciting.
Well, we got lucky last season, didn't we? Let's be honest. We got lucky last season.
We did.
As we've said about Trippier before, he played virtually every game, didn't he? But Schar played the vast majority of them also. And in previous seasons, he hasn't because of injuries. So we got lucky last year. Will it be the same next year? I'm not sure. So we do definitely need better depth in the centre half.
Yeah. Chris, to cheat you up, Billy's not leaving. We had to change the show at the very last moment today because Billy found a solution, thank God. And he is staying with us. So he will be with us for many moons to come. Seattle Geordie says, just got in myself, had the box of tissues handy. Really happy to see he will still be the indomitable Billy Trey. I wondered where you were going with that there, Seattle, but I'm glad you went there. Johnny Boy says, well said, Paul. The Toon is becoming a bigger draw for new signings. Yes. I mean, look, this bollocks that they came out with today, saying, all Newcastle, going targeting the women of the Northeast as well, calling them just fat. I mean, it's disgusting, Alex. You shouldn't be allowed to get away with that because, that is awful discrimination.
Well,
or slander, whichever one you want to call it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It's obviously not true. There are people who struggle with weight in every city across the UK and in a lot of the developed world. Like, it's just what it is. But I would say there's more people that aren't than are. So
the developed world and Coventry.
Oh God, yeah. I Like Coffee wants to know, what would Newcastle's goals be for next season? Well, it's an interesting question, mate, but I think we'll reserve that until we look at the we do our season preview, and then we'll sort of give you our thoughts and predictions on where we think things are going to go. That will be an interesting show, because what we're going to do this time is make sure that we write them down and keep them, so that at the end of the season we're not thinking who said what. But there was a couple of right predictions. Nobody thought top 4.
We'll have to go back and watch the old video and then do a reaction to it.
I guess, yeah. Ian says, Eddie and the Wizard Dan Ashworth have got our backs, the expert poker players. Wow. Ball Geordie says, great news, Billy. You bring the sexy to TTR. What's the TTR Gaming about? I've missed a couple of shows. Shame on me. Well, we haven't really said anything about it. It's just going to be a gaming channel where these two will probably play things like FIFA, Football Manager. The other guys behind the scenes will probably do a bit. I will do a bit, but I'll just end up in rage and turn it off. So you'll probably get about a 5-minute stream from me. I'll be playing FIFA 3-0 down in 5 minutes. I'll just chuck the machine at the computer or whatever and break it, and I'll be off air. So these two are more pragmatic at it, I guess, and better at it than me.
I've just started a Bordeaux save as well, so.
Oh, ooh la la. Yeah, well, there you go. So there will be Football Manager, FIFA, and other stuff on there. So we're just branching out like a tree.
Can I just reply to Jan's comment in the chat? Season preview can't be done until all of the players are signed. Well, no, because I'm pretty sure, isn't the transfer window still on when the season starts?
Yeah.
Yes.
End of August, yeah.
So no, we're not doing the season preview.
Well, we could sort of revisit it eventually, and see how it goes. But you never know. We'll look at that. We have a £20 super chat coming from Chris Lynch. Chris, thank you very much. Very kind, my friend. He says, our weakest part in defence is the left-back position. TTR is the best channel by a mile. Hope Susan as well. Susan is very well, yes. Luckily, she's avoided getting the COVID like me. I've spent the last few nights on the sofa, sweating my arse off, I have to say. It's a sweaty COVID, this one. It's not great. Tony, good evening to you. Hope you're well, buddy. Go and check Tony's channel out. Just hit 800 subscribers. Massive well done to you, Tony. Hi, Paul, Billy, and Alex. Pleased that Billy isn't going anywhere. Well, there was a few rumours kicking about that he was getting transferred to It's All Black and White TV, because Billy sometimes goes and guests on there and, makes remarks about television celebrities, for instance. But, go and check Tony's channel out. Fabulous news. He's up to 800 subscribers with his old mucker Rolly there. It's a great channel. And yes, Alex?
Just Clarky's put Jan's got a point, to be fair. Literally, he has no point. We're not doing the preview of the upcoming season.
Alex,
the games have already been played.
Alex,
that's madness.
I know you've had your raw beef, right? It's Sunday. You've had your raw beef and roasties.
There has to be a start line and an end line.
These are our viewers' opinions, and we have to acknowledge them. It is.
It's wrong.
Well, it's not. In your eyes, it's wrong. In theirs, it's not.
Oh, okay. Let's Alex, just not turn up to the first two fixtures anyway.
Alex, just agree to disagree. Just be nice on a Sunday evening, please. It doesn't have to go. Another £10 super chat from Chris Weston. Thank you very much, Chris. There's no comment there, but thank you so much for that, matey. Really kind. Barth says he loves his northern girls. Clarky says Billy's solution: quit work, stay with TTR. I like it.
I wish.
Geordie says, Billy, well, so do I. It will be a dream that will come true one day. Billy leaving would be a worse day than when Chelsea taxed Bar from us. Wow. Okay. Woodby says, wait till the haters post. TTR did some clickbait with Billy's premature demise. Well, I'm expecting that to come. I mean, Christ, let's face it. Well, I guess we have, yeah. Yeah. Up the A1 says, what did we miss with Billy? Whatever it was, please, it's not happening. Well, he was leaving, but now he's not. So that's the short story. But there you go. Barbara, good evening. Great news. So glad you're staying, Billy. You are all one great team. And Paul, glad to see you getting better. Thank you very much, Barbara. KB over in Belfast says, Billy, the main man. Marvellous, sir, that you're staying. Watch-alongs wouldn't be the same, sir. What the hell is this on a Sunday night? It's misogynistic xenophobia. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Misogynistic xenophobia.
Yeah.
I tell you what, just put me down for presenter of the year. It's done. After doing that on a Sunday night with COVID, I'm sorry. Come on. Incredible. Julie J said, bet whoever said that has knocked one out. What the hell? Bet whoever said that has knocked one out over Warshell. Julie, I don't even know where that conversation's come from, and I don't really want to know. Kenzie said, I might be talking about the guy who's called every Geordie girl fat. See the guy's face who was slagging off Newcastle. Even the guy's mother would find it hard to love that. There you go. Ian says, the only thing fat about us now is our ambitions. Absolutely. John says, Billy, glad you're staying stronger as a team. How are the lads? I did plan a really emotional end to your special show, Billy, because it was going to come to the end, and then I was going to say, for one more time, Billy, let's hear it. And then you would go, how are the lads and lasses, and disappear into the sunset. But we don't have to do that anymore. Anyway, who's the next player, Alex?
Well, it's one we've already got. So I just thought it was important to have a look at the player. If we're going to bring in this potential centre half, the fact that Romano's tweeted that we're in for him. I just want everybody to, because we don't really look at our own players very often, especially statistically. So I think it's important to have a look at Schar. Obviously, we can't really see data for his speed, acceleration. But most people watch most of the games. We know he does struggle a little bit with his pace. His positioning 9 times out of 10 makes up for that, although he can sometimes fall asleep. Typically, it's after he's been concussed 5 minutes previously, and Botman will have to bail him out with a recovery run 9 times out of 10. And I don't think Botman gets enough credit for the amount of times he's made Fabian Schar look okay. Because if Botman wasn't there, Schar might have had 5 more goals conceded, really, with some of the positioning. But on the whole, he's been very, very good. Four goal contributions. He's played literally the entire season. There was the 2 games that Lascelles started. And then I think he played most of the games, or all of the games, all the way up through to the Carabao Cup final. Can we expect and feasibly rely on Fabian Schar starting 40 games next season? I think that'd be a little bit unfair on him.
No.
He's 1 year older than he was at the start of last season. I know he's only 31, but I just want to say he's really good. So his data, it's lovely being able to look at the data of our players now compared to what it was sort of 2 seasons ago. Progressive passes and carries is really, really good. His shot creating actions for a centre half is enormous. He's more than worthy of staying in this team. I'm glad that nobody's talked about Schar in a bad way, because I think that would be completely unjust. And you can see what I was talking about the pass completion percentage typically goes down if you're the centre half who tries all the long balls. He's in the bottom 9th percentile, and we know Shar's a good passer of the ball, so that's nonsense. We know it's because he tries all of the crazy stuff. It doesn't mean he can't play a 15-yard pass. Of course he can. He just also tries all of the 60-yard passes, and that's the problem. That's why the percentage is so low. Anyway, we'll move on from Schar, because that's not who we're looking for.
Alex, I just want to say before you move on to the next player, everybody that talks or mentions you in the chat now, right, has now developed this emoji for you, which is a raw piece of meat.
Oh, I've forgotten emoji now.
You have an emoji. Even Stephen put there raw with the raw meat emoji. Brilliant. Thank you, Martin, for your $4.99 super chat. This is great. You're staying, Billy. We need you as referee to split Alex and Paul up at times. The channel would not be the same, mate. Well, it doesn't matter now because he is staying forever. He signed a 90,000-year contract. Just so we can't go anywhere else. Clarky says he has a point to Mr. Angry, just saying it's nice to judge it on the final squad.
But the season will have already started.
Rachel says, chill, Alex, and stop eating the raw meat. Right,
but
guys.
It's just nonsense. I'm sorry, it's nonsense. Guys, it's like saying, look, you're in space, so you're closer to the sun, but it's colder. It's just facts. It's either right or it's wrong. It's just nonsense at this point. How far do we entertain people just spouting nonsense.
Guys, from now on, anybody that talks about Alex in the chat, please put the raw meat emoji, because then I know instantly that it's a comment for Alex. So there you go. I think that'll catch on quite quickly.
Let's do our season preview 3 fixtures into the season then. Fine. We'll just start at 35 games remaining. Let's do it your way then. That's nonsense. No, it's fine. We'll do it. We'll do it.
I'm the boss. We'll do it my way, Alex.
We'll just miss the first 3 season the game.
Abs says I'm with Stato on this. The vast majority of players are already in. We could do season preview tomorrow. Yes.
Who are we playing first?
Look,
Villa. Have we got Villa first?
Yeah.
No, we can't do the preview on Villa then, because we might sign someone else.
Bottom line, guys, we're going to do a season preview before the start of the season. And then if we feel that we need to talk differently about it, if there's a couple of extra signings come in,
one,
then we will. Absolutely.
If we sign
so there
Messi
we go.
2 weeks after the season started, then yeah, we'll do another one.
Yeah. Stephen says, Alex is slowly morphing into an angry lion with the beard and raw meat. John says, cracking show from TTR boys. Billy is ace of spades, as an Iron Maiden. Ace is high, rock on. How are the lads and lasses?
I don't want to be pedantic, John, but it's Motorhead, not Iron Maiden.
Oh, after all that praise, shot down like a German airplane over Dover. My goodness. Jim says, Alex isn't keen on opinions. He didn't like my opinion on Jack's channel yesterday.
Because, Jim, you were one of the people talking about Maxi's got a headband and a bad attitude and turns up to training late. So we were talking about football players. It's just nonsense at this point. It's nonsense. And I mentioned in Jack's chat yesterday, Joelinton got a drink drive charge. Nobody mentions it. Maxi wears a headband, gets crucified for it. It doesn't add up. It's nonsense. It's a witch hunt at this point. If you don't like people as a footballer, fair enough. But it's just character assassination, and it's just rude. The poor man's done more charity work than we will ever do in our life for the Northeast. He deserves a statue for the amount he's probably raised, and as does what Bruno's doing right now for a lot of charity work. It's very commendable. They don't have to do that.
I'll take a shot every time someone mentions raw beef to Alex. Let the man debate. Geordie Mick, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. Much appreciated, buddy. Well, happy Billy is staying. That is all. Well said, Geordie Mick. Indeed. Even those Geordie Shore girls are not fat. Come on. Common, yes, but fat, no. Some of them are all right. Some of them are... I'll tell you what, there's one who I really like... think's gone on to do really well, and that's I can't even remember her name now.
Vicky Patterson.
She was in it. That's her. She's just enjoying life, and that bloke as well. I can't remember his name either.
Gaz Beadle.
That's him. Billy, what the hell, man? I didn't know you were so big into Geordie.
I've never seen it either, to be honest with
you. Yeah, all right. Okay. Just the names just roll off your tongue, but you've never seen it. Okay. That's fine. Irani Granny says Paul's poll for presenter of the year is number 1, 2, or 3. We know how Paul likes to present the poll. Irani, I'm starting to, think I'm gonna ban you shortly. Reese says, have you heard about James Trafford signing for Burnley for 20 million after not conceding a single goal for the entire Euro tournament? That guy will be England number 1 someday. Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him indeed.
To be fair, the transfer was pretty much sorted before that final, and everybody mocked it as being too overpaid. And now since the final, everybody's changed their opinion on it, because obviously saved the penalty to win the whole tournament.
Clarky says, share proof that Mr. Angry is losing it. Mr. Angry now. Dear me. Julie J says, why are we doing one of our own on a transfer show? Oh, dear, Alex. I mean, I tell you what.
Well, we looked at a right-sided centre-half. It was purely just so we can compare them. That was all it was.
Indeed. But we have the legend singer Paul Young with us. Billy, do you live in Bell Green in Coventry?
Paul, wherever I lay my hats, that's my home, mate.
Hey! How? Absolutely.
I work near Belgrade, but I live in Old Brooks, which is where the Rico is.
Very close to the Rico, it has to be said. Paul says, Cher will miss a game or two with concussion. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So glad Billy Klopp is staying, indeed. What about a piece on that Bruno Guimaraes guy at Lyon? I heard he's good, says Kenzie. Right, Alex, have you got the last player ready, or are you just like farting about behind? All right, there you go. It's a guy that we've seen before, but a guy that we hope signs, Musa Diabi.
Yeah. I've gone with my gut in including him in this show. I'm not 100% convinced we're ever going to sign him. However, it just feels like there's something. It's hard to tell. We went for Botman for so long. We got him. We did go for Maddison for quite a long time. We didn't get him, or we walked away. However,
Alex, I'm just going to interrupt you there, just because I'll get killed off the missus if I don't specifically read this out. If you have eaten too many pies lately, coming soon is obviously the Toon Review Fitness podcast with Rachel and Susan. It will be very funny. It will be very informative. And if you want to lose some weight as well, those guys are going to go through the journey with you. Susan's already on Threads. If you just look for at the Toon Review _fitness, you will find her there. Sign up to that. It's going to be a fabulous podcast, and that is coming soon as well. Sorry, I was continuing on, matey.
No, that's all right. I just feel like this is one of those transfer sagas. And to be completely honest, I don't see where else he goes. I don't think he goes to Spurs. Arsenal have got Saka. Man United have got Sancho and Anthony. Man City, I can't see it personally. Who else exists? Chelsea have got Madueke. They've got a billion wingers. I don't know where else he would go. I don't think he'd go back to PSG. And you never know. It depends if we get Harvey Barnes, if that works out. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like we should review him again, just in case. Whether we never get him, whether we get him this window, January, I don't know. But we have always been heavily linked with him. He can play left wing, right wing. He's left-footed. He's a good age. He's a goal machine. I just think it's worth having a little look again, just in case. Or some people, I forgot Liverpool. Yeah, my apologies. I can't see them spending that sort of money on any part of the forward line. I mean, they've got too many forwards. I can't see him going to Liverpool either. A few people in the chat saying Villa or Bayern. Yeah, I can't see him going to Villa either. I think that's a stretch. I think that would be an absolute steal if Villa managed to get him. That would be an incredible signing for them. Bayern, possibly. It might work at Bayern. But there's only a few options out there for him, in my opinion. I don't see where else he goes. I think he fits us perfectly. 24 years old now. Another season in the Bundesliga, did really well. 9 goals, 8 assists. Not quite as many as he got last year, but still an incredible goal contributions return for the season. Yep. Champions League minutes, Europa League minutes. So 7 goal contributions in all European competitions as well. Wages are nice and modest. And now there's only 2 years left on his contract. So when we were looking at him last summer, obviously there was the 3 years. So now there's a year less to worry about. It just seems quite nice. Wages are really, really modest. We could double it, triple it. Well, maybe not triple it, but could definitely increase it statistically. So defensive output is pretty much non-existent, but he is left to his devices up top. He's not much of a defensive player. I'm unsure as to whether it's something that could be put into his game. Again, it's not necessarily the way Bayer Leverkusen play. I need to watch a little bit more of them. However, I don't know. The defensive stuff is slightly concerning, but I don't think it's too much of an issue because like pressures and things. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments. Pressures and things don't show up.
Will you concentrate on what you're doing?
So progressive carries are still elite. He's in the 80th percentile for carries. He's very good at take-ons. He's touching the ball a lot in the penalty area. He's receiving a lot of passes high up the pitch, and it looks like to me he's not quite as flashy as he was the season before last. he's just turned into a bit more of a, this is my job and I'm going to do my job. Whereas he's still got a lot of flashy elements to his game. He likes a little body feint and ball roll, and it's all about change of direction. There's a lot of speed to him, and it's somebody that would definitely fit into our squad amazingly well. Very, very versatile wide forward. And if we have a look at, right, let's see against them. So we've got a 4-3-3 with Diaby going off injured. Oh dear, when was this? That was a while ago. It's fine. So on the left wing, they did get a red card, so that might explain some ratings. So we've got 3 out of 6 ground duels. We've got a couple of successful dribbles, 2 shots of target, 1 shot blocked. So just putting up some work on the left wing. Got a bit injured, so maybe not the best game to look at. Let's look at him in the Europa League against Roma. This was an interesting game. I think we were live when this was going on, and I wanted to watch it. I've got it
bloody sorry
to rewatch it. Wow, it's hard to do shows and scout at the same time. So this is a little bit more impressive, and it's against more difficult opposition as well. 3 shots off target, 2 blocked. Tried a few dribbles, hit the woodwork. So 2 key passes as well. Tried a few crosses, got a long ball in. Losing out physically there, 0 out of 6 ground duels. I know Mourinho's Roma are quite tough. So possibly some question marks over his physicality, but he is an elite player who absolutely smashes it in terms of goal contributions. Let's have a little look at his transfer marks. 9 caps for France. I mean, I say it every time. If you've got caps for this France side, you are a very good player. Extremely versatile, as we've already pointed out. So let's have a look at AIS Sports Service. Current market value 50 million. So he's rated slightly less than he was last season, but that's obviously he's kind of a similar caliber of player, but he's not quite a wonder kid, and he's obviously got 1 year less on his contract. So his sporting agency, who do they represent? Fana, you've got not really anybody that we know. Generally, mostly sort of French with African backgrounds. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I still feel like this is a tricky one. If we want to get it done, it would be amazing if we could get it done.
The only problem I've got with this one is, it just seems like we've been linked with him for that long. It just seems like if we go quiet in the transfer window for whatever reason, it just seems that his name keeps getting brought up, but there doesn't seem to be any direct link from Newcastle United themselves as to say, Diaby is he's there.
Yeah, but like wasn't with really Harvey that with Barnes, either.
Well, no, but with Harvey Barnes, there's a bit more traction, but there doesn't seem to be anything gaining traction with Diaby. I'd love him. I'd love him here. Billy, I'm sure you said you'd love him as well. He's a great player.
Yeah, absolutely. He's elite. He's one of the best right-sided midfield. He can play left as well, wide-sided forwards in Europe. Without any sort of a doubt. It would be a statement signing if we were to get him. Manages to keep himself pretty fit. He had a rough start of the season last year, if I remember rightly, but he came into his own as the season went on, if I remember rightly too. So, his figures ain't the same as they were the year before, but the year before he was constant, wasn't he? He was outperforming his XG, I think, Alex, last year, and his XAG. This year he hasn't been.
Let me have a look at his. I mean, I don't know if you want to put the screen back on, but we can have a look at his career and his stat matches as well. So we didn't do that. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know, really. You've got Salah, Sterling, Adeyemi, Ferran Torres, Vinicius Junior, Martinelli. You can see how he's profiling. So, with what Billy was on about. So, his best season output-wise was the season before with 25 goal contributions. He's actually running a little bit cold this season. He should have had 2 more goals than he actually got. And 2 more assists. So it does look like he should have been over 20 goal contributions. He just got a little bit unlucky. So his expected output actually went up last season, but his numbers dropped off. I think he just got a little bit unlucky.
Simon makes a good point there, Alex, in that Bayer Leverkusen had an absolutely stinking start last season.
They did, they were down in the relegation zone for a few weeks.
Yeah, they were. And they sort of managed to start going again under Alonso, and eventually finishing 6th, which from where they were after sort of 10 games, so they did have a really poor start.
Yeah, I mean, a few people mentioned his physicality and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think Isak came in with a particularly big reputation for pressing and physicality, and I feel like he's adjusted. It's not always about. I don't think it's always about are they currently doing lots of defensive output and pressing. I think the question is, are they athletic enough and can they be trained to do those things? I think that's more the important question. Just because they're not doing it right now doesn't mean they can't do it. It kind of depends on system, what they're being asked of, instruction wise. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to press. He's an intelligent player. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do it. If Max can learn how to press, then Diabi can definitely do it.
Yeah. DK35, thanks for another 199 super chat. He says, link with Ryan Cherky today. Him or Diabi?
Were we linked with him today? Where were we linked with Cherky today?
I haven't seen it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to argue with that. I haven't seen it though, but I will take a look at that. And if we are linked with him, then we'll get him on a transfer. He's a fabulous player.
Jan is definitely on something tonight. The Bundesliga is a lot stronger than most people say. The Bundesliga is the weakest now it's been in about 10 years, in my opinion. I think the Bundesliga was really good 5 years ago, and it's steadily declined a little bit. Defensively, it's a shambles.
I'm not so sure I agree with you, Alex. I watch a lot of the Bundesliga, and I actually agree with Jan on this one. I think it's... I
think it's a great league. It's a great league, but I think it's declined what it was 5
Borussia
years
Dortmund...
ago.
I mean, you want to see a team throw away throw away the league. You watch Borussia Dortmund on the last game of the season. That is how to completely fold under pressure. Just remarkable stuff on the last day. However, never mind.
Can I just mention as well about Diaby is a lot of people saying that they think that Diaby's a distraction for another transfer. I feel like that it could be the other way around. Everything's gone quiet on Diaby, and it depends what happens with Barnes as well. I wouldn't commit. I refuse to commit to I think this is going to happen anymore because the club are quite happy to throw some smoke screens in and go in a different direction.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, look, I haven't. If something like this happens,
there's been many people putting on social media today, etc. That Barnes is expected for a medical this week. Newcastle haven't said that, so we just have to see what happens. Darren says, all right, lad, if we can raise some money, sell ASM. He's not first-time player. We know that Darren's not a great fan of ASM, to be fair. But there isn't. There's a split. There will always be a split on ASM, but it's just, not feed raw steaks to Alex and just have a conversation about it. Because once anyone brings him up and Alex starts stroking the beard, you've got to hide.
See, there you go. Foxy agrees with me about the Bundesliga.
You'll win bets for fun betting over 2.5 goals a game in the Bundesliga. Defensively, it is suspect, but it's very entertaining. I'll agree that the defending is very suspect, but but it's good fun. You always get fun games to watch. To be honest,
the thing is, players are leaving the Bundesliga in the droves to come to the Premier League, aren't they? And
they are.
Lewandowski, Haaland, Szoboszlai. There's lots of them.
Well, we know that obviously the Premier League is where everybody wants to play now. It's fact. We just because we're English, we don't have to, boast about that to the high heavens. It's fact. Players do want to come and play. Managing to get Tonali, for instance, out of Milan into Newcastle. You mentioned Szoboszlai there. Various players they want to come over. Diaby has been quoted as saying he wants to play in the Premier League. So, is that an indication that something is in the pipework behind the scenes? We don't know until, of course, Newcastle United tell us. But there you go, guys. That is it for the transfer show tonight. Thank you very much for your viewing. Well over 1,100 again. Thank you so much. Thank you for your super chats and all to the new members. We really appreciate that. Thank you to the Mod Squad. Fabulous work yet again. To Billy and Alex, and of course to you guys out there. Absolutely superb viewing figures again, and we hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, do give it a thumbs up. It is very important to the channel. And of course, if you're new and like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, completely free to do so. And also the notification bell to let you know when we go live or we upload any further videos. You can become a member of the Toon Review, as some wonderful people have done tonight, by hitting the join button, which is just underneath this video. If you're on iOS, you may have to pop over to Instagram, hit the link in the bio there, and that'll take you to a desktop version of that. We are on Patreon, of course, now, podcasting. There will be some shows uploaded very soon on there. The link is right at the top of this show's description. So give it a click, have a look, see if you're interested. And there'll be some very, very good podcasts being uploaded in the next few days. I think Alex is recording some tonight, so we've got some from Alex to come. So
check out tomorrow.
Lots of stuff. Absolutely. So lots of stuff happening on the Toon Review, expanding branches like a big oak tree. But thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you, probably tomorrow night. Keep your eye open for any recorded shows as well. But until then, good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some green.